Dear beloved heart, as you sit here in this quiet moment, let a gentle truth wash over you. God is closer to you than your own breath. Not in some distant, unreachable heaven. Not behind rituals, rules, or requirements. Not hidden in places too holy for you to enter, but here, right now, nearer than your thoughts, closer than the rise and fall of your chest. Take a slow breath, and as the air enters your lungs, let your soul whisper gently, God is near, because He is. You may not have felt Him in the chaos. You may not have sensed Him in the exhaustion. You may not have heard Him in the noise of life. But His nearness has never depended on your awareness. He has been with you through every hour, every breath, every step. You have walked through days where your heart felt heavy. You have faced moments where the weight on your shoulders pressed harder than your strength. You have carried silent fears, unspoken confusion, and hidden tears. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still standing, still held, not by luck, not by coincidence, but by presence, a holy presence surrounding you, even when you felt unworthy, unseen, or unprepared. There were nights when your pillow caught tears you never shared. There were mornings when you put on a brave face, even though your spirit trembled inside. There were moments when frustration filled your chest so tightly that breathing itself felt like a burden. But in each of those places, God was closer than the sigh you released into the room. He heard the prayer you never spoke. He felt the trembling in your chest. He noticed the weakness in your voice. He held the heaviness you hid from the world. You survived things that were meant to break you. You walked through storms that stole your peace. You carried burdens that should have crushed your spirit. But here you are, not by accident, but because He carried you breath by breath. Look back for a moment, not to dwell, not to regret, but to recognize. Remember the night you felt you couldn't go on, but somehow, morning still came. Remember the decision you feared, but somehow you found clarity. Remember the season you thought would swallow you, but somehow you made it through. Somehow was not random. Somehow was God, quietly strengthening you, gently guiding you, lovingly holding you. You may have thought you walked alone. You didn't. You may have thought you were fighting by yourself. You weren't. You may have believed nobody understood the weight on your chest. But God understood, because He was closer than the breath carrying your pain. Every breath you take is not just a physical movement. It is a reminder that life is still flowing through you, purpose is still beating within you, and God is still sustaining you. There is no breath you take without Him. There is no tear you shed without Him. There is no fear you face alone. When you felt weak, He became the strength that lifted you. When you felt lost, He became the whisper that gently redirected you. When you felt crushed, He became the quiet force, rebuilding you from inside. Even in silence, He never stopped speaking. Even in stillness, He never stopped moving. Even in your confusion, He never stopped guiding. Breathe again, slowly, deeply, softly. Feel that? That is not just oxygen. That is grace, entering your body without permission, sustaining your spirit without condition. God does not wait for you to be perfect. He does not wait for you to pray long or loud. He does not wait for you to understand everything. He simply stays, closer than your pulse, gentler than your sigh, more faithful than your thoughts. Some days you felt spiritually numb, yet He stayed. Some days you felt confused, yet He stayed. Some days you didn't even want to pray, yet He stayed. Because His nearness is not earned, it is given, freely, lovingly, constantly. You may feel broken, you may feel tired, you may feel discouraged, You may feel like your life is scattered into fragments, but God is near every fragment, near every wound, near every ache, near every silent scream inside your chest. You are not holding yourself together. God is holding you together. Every breath you take is a testimony that the one who breathed life into you has never stopped sustaining you. So let this moment be a beginning. Let this breath be a reminder. Let this truth sink deep into your soul. God is closer than your breath. He is closer than your fears. He is closer than your questions. He is closer than your pain. And He isn't going anywhere. Beloved heart, now that you've taken that gentle breath, now that you've allowed your soul to soften, let us go deeper into this truth. You have never breathed alone. Every inhale was accompanied by divine presence. Every exhale was watched over by holy eyes. Every silent moment of tiredness, every hidden ache within your chest, every quiet night where you lay awake, God was there, closer than breath, closer than pulse, closer than any human could ever be. There is a closeness of people, the kind that stands beside you, holds your hand, speaks comforting words. But then there is the closeness of God, so deep, so intimate, so sacred, that even when the world cannot reach the cracks inside you, He can, and He does. Think about this. How many times did you whisper, "I can't do this anymore," only to wake up the next morning with just enough strength to try again? That strength wasn't random. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't your willpower alone. It was the nearness of God quietly refilling your courage drop by drop, breath by breath, moment by moment. There were moments when your mind raced with 100 worries, but your lips stayed silent. Moments when you wanted to cry out for help, but didn't know how. Moments when you wanted to rest, but life kept pushing you forward. Even in those moments, God was closer than the fear in your chest. You may not have seen Him, but you felt a quiet strength that held you up. You may not have heard Him, but you sensed a whisper guiding you forward. You may not have recognized Him, but something inside you knew, "I'm not alone. Someone is carrying me." Beloved soul, do you know the beautiful thing about God's closeness? He doesn't need an invitation. He doesn't wait for you to be ready. He doesn't need you to have perfect faith. He doesn't come because you prayed the right way or because you lived without mistakes. He comes because He loves you, and love always stays close. Even when you turned away, He didn't move. Even when you doubted Him, He didn't withdraw. Even when you felt unworthy, He didn't stop choosing you. This is the closeness that cannot be broken, not by your failures, not by your past, not by your fears, not by your silence. God does not watch you from a distance. He stands inside your breath. When your chest tightened with anxiety, He was the calm that kept your heart beating. When sadness tried to drown your spirit, He was the quiet anchor that held you steady. When confusion clouded your thoughts, He was the gentle whisper saying, "One step at a time, I am with you." And when loneliness wrapped around you like a cold night, He was the warmth you couldn't explain, settling deep inside your soul. Beloved heart, if only you could see how often God leaned close, how many times He shielded you from unseen dangers, how many tears He caught before they fell, how many times He softened the blow of heartbreak so it wouldn't shatter you completely. You would never doubt His nearness again. Sometimes you think, "Why do I feel nothing? Why don't I sense God?" But closeness is not always a feeling. It is a truth deeper than emotion, a truth stronger than circumstances. Your breath does not ask for permission to enter your lungs. Your heartbeat does not depend on your understanding. They simply keep going because God sustains them. And in the same way, His presence keeps holding you even when you don't recognize it. There were days when you felt lost, but you didn't lose your way. There were days when you felt weak, but you didn't collapse. There were days when you felt broken, but you weren't destroyed, because God was closer than the pain trying to tear you apart. You survived, not because life was gentle, but because God was. You healed, not because time passed, but because God held you through the passing of time. You grew, not because you were strong, but because God planted strength inside your weakness. Beloved heart, take another breath. Slowly, softly, deeply. Feel that. That quiet expansion in your chest, that gentle rhythm inside you, that is God's nearness expressing itself through your living body. He is in the breath that calms you. He is in the heartbeat that sustains you. He is in the silence that comforts you. He is not far. He never was. He never will be. There is a reason you didn't fall apart when everything inside you felt fragile. There is a reason you didn't give up on nights when your soul felt empty. There is a reason your story didn't end in the places where it easily could have. That reason is God, the one closer than your breath. He was with you in every trembling decision, in every late-night fear, in every quiet morning you didn't want to face. He was with you when others didn't understand your heart, when people misread your silence, when no one knew the heaviness you carried. He was with you when disappointment bruised your hope, when rejection wounded your confidence, when grief. Beloved soul, as you settle into this moment once again, let your heart absorb a truth that gently whispers through every chapter of your life. You have never been unseen. You have never been unheard. You have never been alone. Even in the moments when you felt like the world moved on without noticing your exhaustion, even when you smiled for others while quietly breaking inside, even when your strength was running thin and your hope felt fragile, God was closer to you than the breath holding your tears. Sometimes life becomes so loud that it hides the sacred nearness of God. Responsibilities demand attention. Stress builds silently. Your mind fills with echoes of what if, why me, how will I manage? And in all that noise, it becomes easy to forget the simplest truth. God is near, not metaphorically, but actually deeply, intimately, beautifully near. Near your fears, near your questions, near your heart's quiet tremors, near every hope that has not yet found its wings. You may believe you've survived all this time by pushing through, by forcing strength, by enduring silently. But the reality is softer, gentler, holier. You survived because God held the pieces of you that you thought were falling apart. Think back to the moments you never spoke of, the day you felt unloved but kept going anyway, the night you cried softly so no one would hear, the time you felt too tired to care, yet still showed up, the morning you didn't want to get out of bed, but somehow your feet touched the floor. Those weren't just strong moments. Those were carried moments. Moments lifted by the one who never leaves, never sleeps, never turns away. Others saw your smile, but God saw your struggle. Others heard your words, but God heard the ache beneath them. Others watched you functioning, but God watched you fighting battles inside that no one knew about. He saw you. When your heart whispered, "I can't do this," and yet you kept breathing anyway. He saw you. When you tried to stay hopeful, but fear tightened around your ribs. He saw you. When you held everything together for others, while quietly falling apart yourself. And even now, He sees the version of you that you hide from the world. Not to judge you, not to shame you, but to hold you. Because God's nearness is not just comforting, it is restoring. In every season of your life, He has been the quiet healer, When you were exhausted, He renewed you in ways your body didn't even recognize. When you were discouraged, He whispered strength into your weary bones. When you felt unworthy, He wrapped you in unconditional love. When you thought you were forgotten, He brought signs, small, unexpected, perfectly timed, just to remind you, I'm here. I've always been here. I'm not leaving. Pause with me again. Slow your breath. Let your shoulders release their weight. Feel the gentleness rising in the quiet. Because God is not just beside you. He is within you, in every breath that flows in and out, in every heartbeat that pulses life into your body, in every fragile hope that refuses to die, in every tear that falls without sound, in every small act of courage you didn't even recognize as courage. He is there, not as a distant ruler, but as a tender father, not as a silent observer, but as a living presence. He is the calm behind your chaos. He is the strength behind your survival. He is the breath behind your hope. And today, He invites you into a gentler truth. You don't have to carry everything alone anymore. You don't have to pretend to be strong all the time. You don't have to hide your wounds or silence your needs. You don't have to numb your emotions to look fine for the world. You can rest. You can breathe. You can lean into His closeness, because the God who is closer than your breath is also the God who restores what exhaustion has stolen from you. He restores the parts of your heart that got bruised by disappointment. He restores the courage drained by fear. He restores the joy you forgot how to feel. He restores the confidence buried beneath self-doubt. He restores the peace that anxiety tried to suffocate. Nothing about you is too broken for Him. Nothing about you is too messy. Nothing about you is too complicated. He sees your layers. The strong you, the tired you, the hopeful you, the hurting you, the quiet you, the healing you, and He holds all of you with gentleness. Let your heart hear this. You don't have to earn His closeness. You simply have to breathe, because He is already there. And even if you don't feel Him right now, even if your faith feels weak, even if your heart feels numb, He is still near, nearer than your doubts, nearer than your thoughts, nearer than the ache you're afraid to talk about, nearer than the future you fear, nearer than the memories that hurt. Every breath you take is a bridge between you and God, a reminder that life continues, that hope remains, that His presence is unshakable. So breathe again, slowly, gently, softly, and let this truth anchor your soul. You are surrounded. You are supported. You are seen. You are safe. You are loved. You are held. Not by circumstances, not by luck, not by your own strength, but by a God who refuses to let you go. Let this moment settle deep into your spirit. A moment of awareness, a moment of peace, a moment of healing, because this is not the end of your journey. This is the strengthening of your heart. And the God who has been closer than your breath will walk with you through every breath that comes next. Beloved heart, as we enter this final stretch of our journey, let your soul gently settle into this truth. God is not simply near you. He is woven into your very being. You are not a traveler searching for a distant God. You are a soul held by a God who has never taken His eyes off you, not for a single heartbeat. Even now, as these words reach you, as your breath rises softly inside your chest, as your heart beats with quiet rhythm, He is here. Closer than pulse, closer than thought, closer than breath. And because He is this close, there is nothing about you He does not understand. Not your tiredness, not your hidden battles, not your loneliness, not your disappointments, not your quiet hopes. He understands the you that you cannot even explain to yourself. He understands the prayers you whisper, and the ones you are too weary to speak aloud. He understands the tears you shed when no one is around, and the ones you refuse to let fall. He understands your strength and your breaking. He understands your desire to be brave and your fear that you are not enough. He understands the moments you want to keep pushing forward and the moments you want to lie down and not move at all. He understands because he is closer than breath. He is close in your silence. There are moments when you close your eyes and say nothing at all, not because you do not care, but because you are too overwhelmed to speak. And in that silence, you may wonder if God has stepped away. But beloved heart, silence does not separate you from him. In silence, he leans even closer. In silence, he listens to the sound of your heart. In silence, he sees the things you cannot put into words, and he whispers gently into your spirit. I understand. He is close in your weakness. You may think you must be strong for God to stay near you, but strength is not what keeps him close. Your weakness does. Your vulnerability calls him. Your honesty draws him. Your surrender invites him. When you say, I cannot do this alone, he says, you don't have to. When you say, I'm tired, he says, rest in me. When you say, I feel lost, he says, I know the way. When you say, I'm breaking, he says, I hold the pieces. Weakness is not a flaw. It is the doorway through which God enters most deeply. He is close in your healing. There are wounds inside you that time alone has not healed. Memories you try to avoid, experiences you rarely talk about, pain you pretend is gone. But God does not rush healing. He moves through it gently, the way sunlight touches cold skin and slowly warms it back to life. Healing is not loud. Healing is not sudden. Healing is not always visible. Sometimes healing happens like this: a breath that feels easier than yesterday, a thought that hurts a little less today, a morning that arrives with a hint of hope, a moment of peace that surprises you, a night where tears don't come. You are healing, beloved heart, slowly, softly, deeply, breath by breath, and God is closer in your healing than in any other place. He is close in your future. You may fear what comes next, the unknown, the unseen, the unplanned, the unexpected. But hear this: nothing ahead of you is without God. He has already stepped into your tomorrows. He has already stood in the places you are afraid to go. He has already arranged what you worry about. He has already strengthened you for what is coming. Your future is not empty. It is filled with His footsteps, His protection, His fingerprints, His grace. There is no path you will walk where He has not already prepared the ground. He is close in your rebuilding. Sometimes life falls apart, quietly or suddenly. Dreams collapse, peace shatters, relationships change, plans fail, confidence cracks. When life breaks, you may think God is far away. But He is never closer than when you are rebuilding. He sits with you in the debris. He gathers the broken pieces with His own hands. He whispers hope into the dust. He rebuilds you piece by piece, not into who you were, but into who He always knew you could become. Your breaking is not the end. It's the beginning of His masterpiece. He is close in your every breath. Place your hand on your chest for a moment. Feel the rise and fall. That movement exists because a divine presence sustains it. Every breath says, I am not forgotten. I am not alone. I am carried. I am loved. Every breath is a reminder that the God who created galaxies still chooses to stay close to you, not because He has to, but because He wants to. You are His beloved, His cherished, His chosen, His carefully held creation, and nothing, not fear, not pain, not distance, not mistakes, not worry, can remove you from His nearness. He is closer than breath. Let this be your declaration. As you stand at the edge of whatever comes next, let your heart speak this aloud. I am not alone. I am not abandoned. I am not unseen. I am not forgotten. God is near me. God is with me. God is within me. Let this truth become the foundation on which you walk, the whisper that steadies your soul, the peace that rests inside your chest. You are held. You are protected. You are guided. You are loved, always, in every breath, in every moment, in every season, because God, your God, is closer than your breath.